Hey everybody, Erica Serwin here from Pink Bucker Designs, and I've got another Birds of Feather project for you today. This time we're going to use the Thanksgiving little turkey. I love him. I love a little Thanksgiving turkey. And I've made kind of a little table treat holder maybe. You could put these on your Thanksgiving table as a thank you for your guests. Inside I have the Dove chocolate pumpkins. You can get these all over the place. I have the bag just in case you want to see what it looks like. But remember, you can really put anything in here you'd like. But I am partial to Dove. All right, so we're going to make this little holder, and this time I want you to notice, before I move on, let me remind you also that if you hop over to my blog using the link in the description, you'll find a PDF with this project and all the supplies I'm using as well as the measurements. We did him on Facebook Friday originally, and this is the clean recording. All right, notice that I did not stamp our turkey on Whisper White. I wanted to stamp him on crumb cake and then color him in. That way it saves me a little bit of coloring. I don't have to color his whole body. And I really kind of like the vintage feel maybe that it gives when you stamp on crumb cake. Now I did just use Memento Black, which is the ink you should use when you are using alcohol markers, and that's what we're going to do. So let me pull all those over here. We will start with his adorable tail feather, and I'm going to use Pumpkin Pie Dark. And if you've never used your blends on cardstock that is colored, you should give it a try. It really is fun, and it gives a really different feel than white cardstock. I do it from time to time and really like the end result. Okay, so pumpkin pie. Now let's take Mango Melody Dark and go around the outside. I'm having a hard time because I'm standing, and typically I like to sit when I color. So please forgive the messy coloring. It's all about the chocolate anyway. I think anybody who would receive this gift is not going to critique your colorings. Don't be worried. Okay, now since we have the mango out, let's color his beak and the little gold buckle on his hat. And you know what? We forgot to do his feet with the pumpkin pie, so we'll do that. I'm using the bullet tip. This is really my preferred end of the marker. I feel like I have better control. And on those smaller parts, if you just kind of dot the colors, you'll get just enough and you won't have too much. Now for his hat, I am using Basic Black Light. And I want to caution you when you use the Basic Black blends that they are super, super dark, which I like. But you just need to use a tiny bit and go very carefully because they are black. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? All right, now let's see. We need to color his wattle, which I don't have my red marker. We'll grab that in a second. Let's do the little pumpkin pie. I'm going to take Crumb Cake Dark. Well, it looks like I use soft suede, so maybe I do need to pull those other markers over from my last project. Of course, they are on the other side. Grab the real red. Okay, let's color the bottom with Soft Suede Dark. And I struggled with what to color the top. I wanted it to look like a crust of a pie. So what I decided to do was use Dark Petal Pink, and I think that it turned out just right. It's not very pink, but it's giving us kind of that tan look that a pie crust would be. Now for the apron, we don't have a white blend, Stampin' Blend marker, but we do have a white watercolor pencil. So that's what I'm going to use, and look how good it looks. You don't need to watercolor it. You can just leave it white like this, which is what I'm going to do. Also add the little strap right here. Now, what I'm noticing, you guys may have been yelling at home, you forgot one of his feathers. Look right here, we have one right here, so don't forget that one that's peeking out. This is a fun little image to do with kids too. Coloring with kids. They like blends. My girls love to use the Stampin' Blends. Just teach them how to put those lids back on correctly. Remember, they have a tiny circle well in there that you want to make sure you get that in and snap it closed so that they don't dry out. Okay, last but not least, I'm going to take my dark crumb cake and I'm going to give some shadow. Actually, nope. We want light crumb cake. I can already tell that dark is too dark. So grab your, well, I have two darks. What's that about? He's very tan there on his neck. Grab your light crumb cake and go behind anywhere that there would be a shadow. So underneath his wing, behind the apron, like this. And then over here where these little hash marks are, that would be a little bit of a shadow as well. Okay, maybe under his hat. And it's going to soften a little bit because it's tone on tone. It's not going to be quite as dark, but it's going to give him just a little more dimension. How cute is he? He's the cutest turkey stamp we've ever had. All right, now no dies. I'm sorry to say, those of you who don't like to fussy cut, don't worry, just punch him. Punch him out with a circle. That would be totally okay as well. But I enjoy fussy cutting, so I'm going to fussy cut. Fussy cut means to cut around the stamped image, and it is kind of relaxing. A few tips that I always give is to use the smallest, sharpest pair of scissors you have. If you try to use a big pair of scissors, you're going to have a lot of trouble. Your cuts are not going to be as nice. And cut off that extra cardstock as you go around so that it's not hanging off, getting in your way. So I'm just going to kind of cut that off like that. Notice I am turning my left hand as I go, not really turning the scissors. I'm turning the stamped image. And then the last tip is to stay on the outside of the black line. Don't cut on the black line. Stay on the outside. That way, any cuts that are not smooth, that are kind of jagged, the eye will only see that black line. So leave just a sliver of a cloud around your image. All right, now the feet can be a little bit tricky. So just go slow and cut off those pieces as you go. All right. It feels very fall-like today here, so it's getting me very excited for Thanksgiving. And I'm definitely using this cute little stamped turkey. Okay, there we go. Look at him. So cute. All right, let's do the rest of our little stack and then we'll make the box last. Notice the leaf. We're going to cut that leaf using our Gather Together dies from the 2019 holiday catalog. We're going to use that big leaf. Let me bring over my die cut machine. And I'm going to just use my regular platform here to cut this out, but then I am going to emboss it with the hammered embossing folder. All right, I've switched over to my regular platform, and this is this hammered metal embossing folder. It's just beautiful. It is a 3D embossing folder, so we're going to need that special plate, the 3D embossing folder plate. You just put that right on top, and it embosses beautifully. You're going to get some nice deep images. Okay, now I pulled out some paper, the Magnolia Lane Designer Series paper. I liked that early espresso pattern there. We're going to stamp our sentiment in pumpkin pie, which of course is over here with those blends. You know, we're just going to use soft suede. Let's just do soft suede right there. And then I'm going to stick it in my tailored tag punch and just punch that right end like that. Now let's stack all of these up. Of course, I'm going to use dimensionals because I love dimensionals. Let's put that right there. Right, and then this one goes right here. And then bring over that turkey and let's put him right here. There we go. Now we are ready to make the little box, which you're going to see is not too terribly difficult. You're going to need your Simply Scored. Let me grab mine. And you're going to need a piece of early espresso cardstock that measures 4.5 by 8.5. Let's score the short side first at 1 1/4 and 3 1/4. So 1 1/4 and 3 1/4. Then turn it and score the long side at 3 5/8. 5/8 is 1 tick mark past the half. And then again at 4 7/8, which is that line right before 5. Now we need to add another score line. However, we don't want this score line to go all the way down. We want it to just go to the horizontal score line. So we're going to score again at 2 1/4 and 6 1/8. Okay, see how I stopped at that line? Turn it around and do it again. 2 1/4, 6 1/8. Okay, you'll see why in just a second. Now we're going to take our scissors. Let me grab my big scissors. And we're going to cut out these 4 rectangles in the corners. Okay, well, there we go. Cut this one there. And that one there. And one more. Okay, now we're going to take these. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to cut it this way. We're going to cut this one here and this one here. And then this one here and this one here. Okay, so those will fold up and in, but we need to punch this top in. And I am using the Delightful Tag Topper punch. And I have to warn you that my punch is damaged and it's user error. It's my fault, but I have to hit it kind of hard. So your punch, you will be able to just punch, but mine, I have to go and it works beautifully. You know, it's kind of nice to take out some of my frustrations when I get to use this punch. But don't worry, it's my fault. I broke it, and yours won't be like that, I promise. All right, so now get some adhesive. You want to use a strong adhesive like Tear & Tape or Tombow or even Fast Fuse if you have it left. And I'm going to take these ends and fold them up. Notice I've put adhesive on the 4 squares, and we're just going to fold them up like this. And there is our cute little holder, okay? So let's add some chocolates in there. I find that it's easier to tie a bow when it's weighted down. So we'll add some of those. Get some Mango Melody seam binding, one of my favorite ribbons from the annual catalog. Thread that through like that. Let's tie it. Just like that. Snip off those ends. And the last thing we have to do is add our cute little turkey. And I'm just going to add some adhesive right there across the front and put him right there. And there you have it. Whoops, spilling the candies. These would be so fun to have sitting on your Thanksgiving table this year for all of your guests. I hope you like this project, you guys. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know, and make sure you hop over to my blog to find 3 more Birds of a Feather projects. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.